Willy Paul and Bahati have been feuding for a hot minute, which comes as a surprise because these two used to be tied as hell. And also given that they have, a background to each other, they have history, they've grown up together apparently. So it was kind of strange for them to have beef. But the beef was not coming out of nowhere because it was actually more because of the relationship between Willy Paul and Diana Bahati, because Diana went on a rant and she said things, she accused people of things, she cried on air, she made a whole video. And when people were like, okay, is that true, babes? Because you were forcing tears. But at the same time, we did not want to discredit the words of a woman who had come out and said that somebody had allegedly assaulted her. So we were stuck. We didn't know who to believe. We didn't know what to say. And it did not help that the person being accused was actually Willy Paul, who has a very interesting record when it comes to his relationship with women. So as much as we wanted to root for you and say, Diana does clout all the time, we really, really could not do it because, babes, you do not have the best track record. So that was that. Eventually, there were a few arrests made here and there. It became a court case. And just recently, the court actually dismissed the case of defamation. We're not quite sure about the case of assault. Apparently, it was never taken to court. But when it comes to defamation by Willy Paul against the Bahatis, the judge actually dismissed the case. And Willy Paul was found to have no doubt, which was a celebration on his front, but actually a jarring experience for the Bahatis because we know exactly who Willy Paul is. We have heard the things he said. He's just not a very likable person. He's a very talented person, but he's just not likable. Anyway, he came out after the court had already dismissed the case and said that he was sorry. He apologized to the Bahatis and said that he does provoke them. He do be doing stuff, and he said, looking back at my experiences with my brother, I recognize that I have occasionally crossed boundaries. I hold the concept of family, particularly the children, in high regard because he had actually made a very scandalous remark, about the DNA of the Bahati children.
Yeah.
And he said, my actions were never intended to cause harm. I understand that they were perceived that way, and I sincerely apologize to Diana and the kids for the misunderstanding. Much love. To which Bahati posted a picture of them, a TBT of them growing up when they were younger, and said, my brother Willy Paul, apology accepted. We are from far. We have fought lots of challenges and great poverty in Mathare slums to become who we are today. And as we strive to rise and become great along the way, we make a lot of, it's a lot. Hashtag bros for life. But I was kind of like, okay, you forgave him too quickly because the things that Willy Paul said to your family, even though he's your bro for life, those were damaging things. He questioned the paternity of your children. He accused, he insulted your wife. Your wife accused him of assault, sexual assault. So for you to say, apology accepted, hashtag bros for life, I'm just like, was this also Kiki? Because what was it? Your wife was on camera crying and recounting how she was abused by this man. How do you suddenly turn around and say, hashtag bros for life, apology accepted?
I genuinely feel like I kind of understand where Bahati is coming from. Okay, first of all, let's just put a pin on the fact that this is possible clout for a song that is coming. Just like pin that. However, I still do understand where he's coming from because if you really think about it, like your old friends, the friends that you grew up with who know you from like the get-go, who have so much history, and then you've fallen away, everyone's kind of had their own issue. Whenever they come back to your life, it's very difficult for you to resist it. It's like almost this enigmatic attraction to the nostalgia of it all and the beauty of your former relationship, and you start to remember all the good things and completely idealize those good things and completely forget the reason why you guys stopped being friends to begin with. There is that natural instinct to want to keep your old friends as close as you possibly can, and absolutely that is a very human thing. So I understand where he's coming from when your brother or your old friend comes through and they're like, hey, yo, I'm sorry for what I did, that was proper shady, forgive me. you'll openly invite them back to your family and you'll be cooking nyama choma and mbuzi somewhere in the corner, reminiscing about the old times. So I kind of understand where Bahati is coming from, regardless of all the weird stuff that happened. And let me say, it was quite weird and quite heavy. But obviously, it's not like I'm assuming it's not like he went directly and accepted this apology before talking to his wife, who had also gone through probably a few things. Like these groups, you know these people. Like since Sikuza ilikuwa system unit, days for system unit, all those guys were all friends, right? Like Akina Mr. Seed, all these guys were all friends and they've been friends for a long time. So you also understand where they came from. You understand the growth and you kind of like, all right, cool, I guess. But I wouldn't do it myself, but like, I guess I understand where you're coming from. So maybe that could be the reason. Either way, I hope he talked to his wife beforehand, because ooh, that's going to be a fight if not.